Yes, like almost by chance, I got a job at the Marrakesh festival.
That was your first.
It was my first event. I was still a student, so I was the assistant of the lady who was in charge of the delegation from India.
Right.
The main guest was Amitabh Bachchan, so you can imagine already the level, and it was, he had decided to come with their entire family and friends, so there was a very big delegation.
Very obliged, very grateful. I'm very happy to be here. I was last here in 2003 when there was a tribute, and now leading a delegation for 100 years of Indian cinema. Very honored, very, very honored.
Irfan Khan was there.
I must say you were blessed to get.
Yeah.
I saw you. Wow.
Shamina Tagore, Manisha Kovala, they were all there.
Hi guys, welcome to Enlighten with Nehha. Today we have an extremely special guest and a very dear friend, Anne. She is a curator for a lot of global film festivals, including the names like IFA, IKFF. She's also worked on a festival called Marrakesh, which is hosted in Morocco, especially for Indian cinema, and many more to go, which we get to know when she talks to us. So, Anne, welcome to the show.
Thanks,
I
Nehha.
can't wait to get an insight into your very interesting journey of where you are today.
Thank you, Neha. Thank you. Thank you for having me on the show.
It's a delight. Yes. So, could you please shed some light on where it started for you in terms of right from your childhood? What were the milestones
Okay.
in your journey?
Cool. So I grew up in a rather small town. It's Brittany in France. It's a place by the coast. It's a very wild, very nature-centric place.
Foresty.
It's the coast, so it's not so much the forest. It's the rocks, the sea, the
Right.
rocks. To give you a comparison with probably UK and Ireland is the closest in terms of look. Also culture.
Right.
We are very close to their culture. So I grew up there. Never I would have expected I would one day be in India.
But we are very glad because you're adding a lot of value to the culture.
But yeah, even Paris didn't like very far from me when I was a kid. But at the same time, I knew I wanted to have something different, a different
Right.
story from just growing up in a small town. Fell in love with cinema very naturally because we used to watch a lot of movies at home. My
Right.
dad is a film buff. My sister, who's older, so I got to know the classics, I think, first. And then on my own, I did my own journey to learn more about cinema. And then my sister, who was very passionate about India, decided that she wanted to travel to India. So she went, she came back, she had fallen in love very badly with India. So she pushed me. She said, "You come with me. I want to go back. You come with me." I was like, "No. I'm saving money to go to Brazil. I'm not coming to India." And eventually, yeah, we came here, and I was 21. It was my first big trip. First time I was taking a flight. It was my first big trip.
Right.
And
All the way.
and then in between, I studied I was studying in a bigger town, but still not in Paris. And I discovered Indian cinema during that travel.
Right.
And I realized how important cinema is in India. I think it is important in France also, but here it has a very, because it is a celebration of cinema.
Oh,
which is
yes.
like,
Yeah,
being in
yes.
theater is
It's a very big part of our culture.
Yes,
Yeah.
so that I love.
Yeah.
Because in France, it's a very quiet
Right.
space.
Yeah. Yes.
So I really enjoyed that. And when I came back to France, I decided to shift to Paris to go further and study really Indian cinema, which I couldn't do anywhere else because you need books, you need access to.
Of course.
And this was 2001, so it was really the beginning. The Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum, Lagan, and all that were coming slowly to Europe.
Yeah.
So I started hearing names. It was Amitabh Bachchan, Shah Rukh Khan, Aishwarya.
What a timing.
Yeah, so perfect timing. And then just by almost by chance, I got a job at the Marrakesh Festival.
That was your first.
It was my first event. I was still a student, so I was the assistant of the lady who was in charge of the delegation from India.
Right.
The main guest was Amitabh Bachchan, so you can imagine already the level. And he had decided to come with their entire family and friends. So there was a very big delegation. Irfan Khan was there, Chandan Arora.
I must say you were blessed to get.
Yeah.
I saw you. Wow.
Shamina Tagore, Manisha Koala, they were all there. So, but I was the bacha, like I was I was just running around with
Very so it is a toy store kind of feeling.
But it was like something I had never done before. Like it's 10 days old, you were just focused on your work. It's also you create a family during an event like that. Like you all become so strongly attached to each other because you're high on adrenaline. You hardly sleep, you hardly eat, but a lot of stress.
Yeah.
Some days and some days you get the end more.
You did an army to do this.
Yeah, and we were not allowed. So we really had to do everything. So I loved it, and we got along with a lot of people also from the Indian delegation. One I got along with him too much, probably.
Wow.
No, it was not nice. It was just, but so yeah, I met the man who would eventually also become my husband. That's so wonderful. So it took me time. It was not an easy decision to shift from France to India.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew what all it would change in my life. And
You must
I was
really talented.
I was in love, but I was also very scared.
I know.
And but then one day, just like that, I told him, "Yeah, okay, chalo, I'm gonna stay back and we'll figure it out."
This adventure.
Yes. And then I said like that. So,
That's tricky.
no, my mom said we knew it was coming. It was either your sister or you would end up in India. So,
Okay, that trip probably gave them a sense.
so no, then it went well. They welcomed Sunil like happily. Then I had to do the other way around. So be introduced to Sunil's family.
Right.
Took a little more time.
Sure. To kind of adjust.
Yeah, I think he's a little scared how to introduce me and all that. There was a lot of
At that time, especially. I think this we're talking about 2000.
Yeah, it was 2004 when I decided to stay back in Bombay.
Yeah.
So with the friends in industry, I mean, in terms of work and all that, everybody knew I was with Sunil, and it was. But his family, he took a little bit more time. I think he was.
So less than
Yeah, the big house, and he's
Right, the walls.
Yeah. So, but the bomb was dropped, and it went well.
Sure, you were embraced.
Yeah, so it was. I mean, it was great. Had got along very quickly with the family. Anyway, there was no problem at all.
Yeah, I think because you were also familiar with Indian culture through movies and there's it's easier to kind of.
Yeah. No, and it just people just welcomed me so nicely. So there was nothing to. I didn't have any struggle in any way. And even with my mother-in-law was very humble. Like they were not a very well-to-do family. My husband was a self-made man, so my mother-in-law had never traveled or nothing like that. She was married. I think she was married when she was 14 or 15. The kind of life she had, the struggle she went through.
It's unimaginable.
Yeah, but she was my buddy.
Wow.
She was really, and I remember she told that to the neighbors in the compound, like some people were talking because I was staying with, so my father-in-law passed away before we got married.
Oh.
And then we decided to stay back with my mother.
Oh, right.
So she was alone.
More
So I was in the house, but we were not married. So you can imagine.
That's ideal actually. Without even asking for it.
So yeah, but everybody was talking. So apparently one day I was not there, but someone told me that people were talking, neighbors were talking, and she went and said like, she's gonna be my daughter-in-law. So you keep
Wow.
quiet and don't even bother me with all this. She's family already.
Lovely.
So I mean, if you have a mother-in-law like that, it's cool, no? So I have no plans.
More like friends.
Yeah, really,
Yeah.
full support. Full
Right.
support always. Yeah.
So you moved to Bombay and then
So I moved to Bombay. We stayed with my mother. Then we decided that we had to get married to keep everybody happy.
Yes.
So we had
Final paper.
yeah. So we did because my father had just passed away. We decided to just a simple court wedding, and we took another year before we organized a big Indian wedding,
Right.
which I think I was just I didn't understand what was going
Oh,
on. Honestly, this is like so big. I was
overwhelmed.
yeah, and like there were some 700
Yeah.
people, and I knew 50 of
my
them.
God.
I'm not even sure I knew 50 of them.
I so empathize you for that because I mean France is very quiet, like you said.
Yeah, we are quite compared to
can like blow it off.
yeah. So it was great. But then my entire family came. They had a ball, obviously.
Of course. I mean,
There was a big party for them.
it's quite an experience.
I think everybody dreams of one day coming to a
I know,
wedding.
the check-ins.
Yeah,
Anything but
they
the
think
family. Beautiful.
So yeah.
So work-wise, then you
So then I also by then, so I had told my husband that, I mean, husband to be, I said, yeah, fair enough, I can stay in India, but I was still a student in France. And I had not on I was writing my paper and said, now if I have to stay here, I'm not sure I'll be able to finish that paper, or even if I do, I need to tell something, a good reason to my parents. Like I can't just say, oh, I'm leaving everything for a man. Like it doesn't work like that.
you got to have a purpose.
Yeah, there has to be a purpose. So, I found a job with Viscraft.
That was
Yeah, that was. There was another one, small one before, but the main one in my field was Viscraft.
Wow.
So I was started with first IFI Goa and then IFA directly.
Wow.
It was IFA Amsterdam that year. So again, loved it, good fun. Again, it's a family thing. For 2 months, you're with the with the work with your work partners. It's like just a lot of fun.
And it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. No sleep. During the main event, no sleep.
Yeah.
So did that for 3-4 years. Then it was time we started thinking of having kids.
Okay.
So then the whole dynamic changed because when you're in events, you travel a lot.
Of
Like
course.
I said, like I find 2 months you're out of
You're totally cut off.
yeah. So that was not possible anymore.
Yeah.
So
Your priorities.
and I think I was also getting a little tired of the event related. No, just I think the fact of like that maybe being away for too long, and
I know, I get
just wanted to concentrate on my home, like
stabilized.
yeah, more stabilized.
Yeah.
So it all happened like that, and we now have a beautiful son. So those years were a little bit more difficult, I think, because then in Bombay, if you're not working,
Oh yeah.
you don't exist.
My God.
You're not seen. Then you're forgotten.
So
Basically.
you took a sabbatical?
No, I didn't. It's just that I see my mother. My mother who was older, so she couldn't handle our son. Like I understand that having your mother-in-law at home can be helpful, but for us it was she couldn't take care alone of our son.
Got it.
We had a beautiful lady who would help also, but it just I don't know. I was not confident enough to leave him almost.